John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures, series testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing my crossbow. Okay, this is my new crossbow for 2024. Listen, I've been a vertical bow guy all my life. Never owned a crossbow. Shot a friend's crossbow a couple times, and I never really had a desire to get into crossbow shooting, and certainly not hunting. But then I thought for 2024, in my broadhead test process, I could do well to shoot broadheads through a crossbow, because I can use a tripod like I have over here, this Bog Death Grip tripod, got a nice scope, and I could really be consistent, a little more consistent, even though I know they fly a little bit differently out of a crossbow. I thought it'd be a good test of the accuracy of broadheads. So I went to the ATA in St. Louis earlier this year, really focused on checking out as many crossbows as I could, and I played around with many of them. There's a lot of great crossbows out there, really like them. And the thing I didn't care about is I didn't care initially if it was going to be big and bulky and heavy, because I thought all I'm going to use it for is shooting broadheads from a tripod like this. I'm never going to go hunting with it anyway, because I love to hunt with my compound bow. But then I came across Killer Instinct. I went to their booth and they showed me this SWAT X1. It's not new. It came out last year, I think. But man, I held this thing and I'm like, oh my gosh. I just fell in love with it. I mean, it's like a high-tech toy. It's like something out of a movie. Super sleek, lightweight. I mean, the total length is under 25 inches. The width is just over 9 inches when it's not loaded, but when it's cocked, it's down to 6¼ inches. So super streamlined and just feels nice. I mean, you really can one-hand it. Super easy to carry in all of its different positions. And so just the feel, I fell in love with the feel. And I thought, man, in Texas, I live in Texas now, I could hog hunt with this bad boy and really do well. So I was really excited about the feel of it. And then as I investigated the features, I really got sold on the features as well. There's so many different features. First of all, the speed that it generates is 405 feet per second. I know there's faster crossbows on the market, but that's pretty fast. 405 feet per second, and that's with the standard. I think it's a 400 grain bolt. But these cams, these X1 cams, are some of the most high-tech cams there are on the market. They're really small, they're concentric, they have a low mass, and so they're able to generate quite a bit of speed, and they're so highly efficient that there's not a lot of dirty vibration, dirty noise, excess noise, and so it quiets down really fast. When I shot it at the ATA, I was surprised. It just didn't sound like all the other crossbows that I've been playing around with, so I was really impressed at that. And then there's so many other great features, like you can pull it back with a rope. I mean, a lot of the crossbows today, you can't use a rope, and you got to use a crank, and the crank can take a long time. I mean, it comes with a compact silent crank, they call it, but a rope pull is really easy. And because the cams are synchronized, you don't have to be super careful to pull it exactly the same on both sides. I mean, it's all going to even out anyway. And it's got a over 50% let off, which is really impressive. I mean, just so many things about the features of the cam and the pull are really nice. And then it's got this Accutech barrel, which they say, I don't know how to really test it, but they say it's going to be really accurate for broadheads because it provides extra guidance. I mean, the whole bolt goes down inside of it, so it's guidance in all directions versus just in a rail on the bottom. So that's kind of cool to think about. And then it's got this extra protected area. Your broadhead goes right in here, so out in the field you're protected with the broadhead, so it's really safe. You're not going to bump into somebody or poke something or something like that. And so I really want to, I've been shooting this for since the end of January, so for a few months now. I wanted to shoot it a bunch before I did a video just to see okay, do I really like it, how's it going, and so forth. And I've shot it hundreds of times now, and it's done really well. I'm careful to lubricate the cables and the slide and everything each time, which is not super easy with the barrel, but you can do it. I got a little paintbrush that I put the lubricant inside like that. but I've shot it hundreds of times. And so what I want to do today, and just in addition to the feel and conveying the features, is I want to do some testing. Okay, I'm going to show how it's pulled and see how easy that is. And I'm going to do a speed test with two different grain arrows, a 435 grain arrow and then a 670 grain arrow. This is those Bishop goat bolts that I've been shooting from Bishop Archery. They really pack a wallop. So I'm going to shoot it and just see what the speeds are, the real world speeds. Then I'm going to go out to the range and shoot it at 20, 30, 40, and 50 yards. And then I just got back from a hog hunt, and I wanted to wait to do the video so I could see how it did in the field. And let me tell you, like, I walked miles stalking through really thick Texas underbrush, and man, it was super maneuverable. Didn't use a strap or anything, just carried it. There's a lot of different ways to carry it, and carried it loaded while I was stalking like that, and it just did super well. And so I'm going to show the and I also was in a tree stand, and it was really easy to maneuver and stuff, and lay flat on the rail in a stand. I got a GoPro that I mounted right here just with their large bicycle mount, and the GoPro worked great. It's a great field of action. I'm going to show that field of view. And then I love their scope too. It's got this great scope with blue or red illuminated reticles, or just the straight black. It's not illuminated, and it's got a speed ring, so it's easy to adjust different speeds, you know, the up and down with the different speed bolts. So really eager to put this to the test in all those different ways and see how it performs. After hooking onto the string, you basically just stand up. It's that easy. I really like using an extra heavy bolt like this because you're still getting a really respectable speed, and yet you're generating quite a bit more slugs of momentum, which is what affects penetration. I did a lot of walking and stalking through the thick woods earlier in the day, but now I'm set up over this feeder waiting for the hogs to come in. Now let's check out the footage of the GoPro Hero 9 Black mounted to my scope.
Well, that was awesome. Couldn't have gone any better. About 8 of them came in, and I took out the biggest one, and the arrow just zipped right through him with that SEVR Robusto. And I can see the blood from here in the mud, and I think I heard him crash. But we're going to give it some time, and maybe some more hogs will come in, and we'll put some of them down too.
A word of caution, there's going to be blood in this video. As a professional broadhead tester, it's important that I show the damage that a broadhead inflicts on the animal. And here's the hog. It didn't go maybe 50 yards, but it was through such thick stuff. And I'm holding the bow and the light, and so I couldn't really film the blood trail, but man, there was a lot of blood. Okay, it was easy to follow the blood trail. And you can see the hole that the SEVR Robusto put in him. I mean, it zipped right through, and both sides made a really nice hole. And then I shot a second one as well. The arrow zipped right through in the same way, but it didn't even go as far as the first one. Really nice hole on both sides of the animal again. And this was a really fun night, and it was a good test of the SWAT X1 crossbow, as well as the bolt and the broadhead combination. And here's the SEVR Robusto after zipping through that hog and burying in the mud on the other side. I just cleaned it off, and it's still in really good shape. I really love these broadheads for crossbows because, one, they're just super accurate in flight and super reliable, but then they're also really durable, and that helps when I'm throwing 677 grains at about 300 feet per second. Okay, can you see why I love this thing? I mean, man, the ease of the draw, the pull, cocking it, the quickness of acquiring the target, the accuracy, the ease of maneuverability on a hunt in the field. I mean, this is just a hog killing machine. I shot the first hog with this, and then I had my vertical bow that I thought, okay, I'm going to switch to my vertical bow. I had it up in a tree stand. But then it was just so fun. Another hog came in. I'm like, I'm going to shoot another one. I didn't have it filmed that time. I turned the camera on and then turned it off thinking it was on. But anyway, I didn't get that one on film, but took a picture later. But this thing is just a killing machine. So I look forward to continuing to use it in my broadhead accuracy testing, as well as taking a lot more hogs in the field with it. A great job, Killer Instinct. I'm really fired up to have a new weapon in my arsenal.